Good morning everybody, wee Paddy from across the shuck and coming at you with another wee video today. It's posh day today. We've had a couple of basic knives, so I'm going to give you a posh day today. And this is posh to me. It's probably middle of the road to most people, but posh to me. It's a Stedemon, and I think that's how it's pronounced, and it's made by Zon Knives in China. And it is a Stedemon. It gives you it there on the back if you need to hold it. It's an A01AGLD for gold. And I think there's 3 different colours you can get it in. Comes in the nice wee magnetic box. And this is the knife. Your paperwork's underneath it. And it comes in a wee Johnny bag too. As nice as knives would call it. This is a futuristic knife, isn't it? It's just a real looker. And it's a flipper. And look at that blade. You've got the lovely gold background. I think it comes in a blue and a black. You've got a carbon fibre. Inserts all over the knife, right up on the blade as well. That's the pocket clip. Look at that, carbon fibre. And on the show side, you just get it right along. What a beautiful, futuristic, I don't know, it's like a plane. If you stuck a wing either side of it, you can nearly, there's your cockpit. You can come at it. Oh, do you see I've gone off on one now? You started me already and I'm only just into it. Right, I'm gonna go fast today. I'm gonna go through the measurements and then we'll have a chat about the wee knife. This is the knife I done the sharpening video on the other day and put an edge on it. It's CTS 204P, which is hard to sharpen. Well, harder to sharpen, but gives you a lovely edge once you've done it. But it's a good workout, let's say that. Right, okay. Bring my wee ruler in and we'll do the metric first. So it's about 6.5 centimetres blade length, about 16.5 centimetres in length. And it's about, the handle length is about 10 centimetres. Okay, we'll come round to the right measurements, feet and inches. And I'll just set this on the line and then I can, it is about 2.5 inches the blade length and 6.5 inches long. So the blade is 4 inches. So that's a stumpy little knife, you know, 6.5 inches. Sorry, I'll give you a width across the breadth of it. The width across the breadth is about 1 3/8 or 3.5 centimetres. So, you know, it's just quite deep that way. And because it's only 6.5 inches long, the depth gives you a great grip on it. A really good grip. And you can get your thumb up there. Really, really good. So, it's a flipper, as you can see. It's flipper only. There's no thumb studs. There's no other way to flick it out that I know of. I can't get my fingers in there to back flip it. Lovely lanyard hole. Open through construction on the top. Oh, let's get this right. Open through construction. There's no lightning in there of the knife. It's all done with a carbon fibre inlays, and they protrude about 1 millimetre over the top of the scale, so you get that extra bit of grip on the knife, which is nice. Otherwise, it'd be quite a smooth knife if they were flush, but it's not. It does catch you, and that's nice. There's purposeful jimping on the top here, which catches your thumb lovely. The knife is, the only reason I can get all 4 fingers is because of that depth of the knife. I can get my thumb up there, and if I want to push down on something, I can get a good solid chunk at it. Weight. What weight is it? Well, I'll tell you what weight it is. Now, we'll start in grams. And in grams, it's 100 grams. And in the right measurement, in ounces, it is 3.5. So, it's chunky. It only weighs 3.5 grams. It actually looks heavier than what it is by far. It looks like it's going to be 4.5, 5, but it's not. So, I'm going to turn this on and we'll see what sort of a blade we've got. 3.3, so it's probably about 3.2. which is 0.13 of an inch. So, oh, do you know what I didn't do across the back of it? 0.53, so she's just over half an inch. Aye, she's just over half an inch. I was away on my board of my own there. 0.53, just over half an inch thick across the back, which is not, I thought it was thicker. It feels thicker because you're getting such a handful. So it's futuristic. It's got an absolutely fantastic blade steel, and that was why I chose it. I didn't really choose it for the futuristic look. I'm not really. That's JT's Knife Life. That's his game, not mine. I don't watch cartoons. So, but it's a lovely looking futuristic knife. To me, it looks like a plane coming into land. You can just see the wings coming out here. There's the cockpit. In she comes. But there's a few flaws in this knife. And I've been used recently. I've got an awful lot of knives in a row that have been not flawless, but I haven't found fault with. Unfortunately, this one, and this one costs about, today it's about £75, $100, somewhere around there. And now, for CTS 204p, that's blooming fantastic. You know, that's a really good price for that blade steel. But, and here's the but, and this is, everything about it is lovely in hand. The pocket clip, I love the futuristic design. It is different. It's different than any other knife I've got. Flicks out well. It's got a big belly blade, and that's it. The two big, huge flaws with it is, for as good as the blade steel is, it's not a great. The blade shape does not give it the chance to be a great cutter of like cardboard. And the things that I would tend to cut up, you know, heavy cardboard and that's what I'd want. A knife with this sturdiness, you know, that's what I would have thought would have been great. If you keep it cutting down this half of the blade, there's not a problem. But once you start coming up to the end of the cutting, when you cut from here, it's coming into the side and then scrunching up, and you get that horrible old knot you get with cardboard. So it's just not a good slicer through cardboard at all. And that disappointed me because I thought that's what it would have been good at. But this point out into it just ruined it. It just comes in here and clogs up. And you know, thick cardboard, when it clogs up, you've no chance. It just crunches up and that's it. So it didn't please me. But what it does excel in is cuts like this. Cuts like this, it excels because that blade steel is great. Absolutely great for cutting. It's good for cutting cord, for rope, for anything else, but it's not a heavy duty cutter. And it's built like a heavy duty cutter. You know, it's built like something you should be able to take and heavy cut. I would say, and I didn't get to try this, and maybe somebody who has one would let me know. I would say if you're a carpet layer, I would say that would go through carpet great. And with that blade steel, would be an excellent blade steel for cutting through carpet, maybe lino, things like that. Linoleum, is it linoleum you call it over there? Lino, we call it over here. It would be good for that, I would say, but I didn't try it. That just came to my head here. I found a struggle to get a use that would suit me, and I didn't really get there in the end. But I do like it for the blade. I like it for the shape. I didn't have this blade steel, so now I have got it. But sadly, and for me, that's the whole point of getting a knife, is to be able to use it. I wouldn't carry this as an EDC knife. It would serve no purpose because, not that it would serve no purpose, that's being a bit harsh. For what I would want to use it for, I don't do pretty knives in a box. I want to get them out. Now, I keep my knives well, and I don't overuse them. As you know, I don't. I've made no secret of that. I don't overuse them. But I do like to be able to take them out and work them. If the cause comes to it, I have no problem with any of my knives taking them out and work with them. But this is not a great slicer, and that's what it should be. It looks like, you know, a heavy duty box knife, but it's not. But as I say, it does. If you want to do fine work and all that, it's quite good. When it's folded down, it's not threatening at all. I mean, you could pull that out, and it is nice, aesthetically nice. The sad thing is, you get that real pointy, sort of aggressive looking blade. So it's personal choice. Personally, it's not my choice, but I don't want to wreck it for somebody else who it is. Just for me, it doesn't look nice and it doesn't provide the usage that I would use it. If you want it just as something you're going to keep and bring out to look at and footer with, that's fine. Sadly, that's the next mistake. The footer ability is not there. It's on bearings. It comes out lovely. It comes out with ease, but the lock is locked up lovely. It's locked up about 40%, I would say there. But to get to the lock bar, there's no relief going in this way. None. And it's quite thick and it's quite strong because you have that bearing in there as well. You've got to clear the two. And you really have to genuinely jam your thumb in and push across and it goes down. The blade centering is perfect. Everything about the knife, fit, finish, all that there is absolutely perfect. But the two main things, it's not a heavy duty killer, so it doesn't suit me, but it might suit you as a show knife to have that shape and style, and that's fine. The lock bar is hard. It's not impossible. I can do it. But it's not free flowing. It's not a fidgeter. You wouldn't bring this knife out to fidget with. Not too sure whether the clip, how long it would last. I don't know. Never had one, so I'm not going to put you off that clip. It's a carbon fibre clip, so I know other knives have used them. It's the first sort of one I've had. It goes in and out of your pocket lovely. It just worries me a bit with its strength. So that's it. I mean, I can't give it a Paddy I recommend it because for me, it's not something that I would particularly use. But if you like futuristic knives and you like the look of it and you're not expecting a whole lot of work, but I was, with that steel, I was really looking forward to it. So it's a disappointment for me, but I don't want to put you off because fit finish is really good except for the lock bar and that cutting. I think they made a mess of this part of the handle for the cutting. A real shame. Could have been so much better in my eyes. But again, I can't fault the knife in its makeup. It's just them couple of glaring faults put it off for me. What size is it? Let's get her out. See, she flies out lovely and she's sharpened up lovely. There's an ADV Butcher, a wee small one, and it's about exactly the same size as it. That's the wee one that Stats have done for me, and I love it. And here's my most used knife. This is the Ganzo chopper. Best chopper out there. Doesn't get your hand. You can go from top to bottom on it. It's used every day in my house. My wife loves it. Never liked knives in her life and loves this. So it's a bit bigger. So this is only 6.5 inches. This will be about 8. So, you know, it was really hard to get. And here's one that's definitely bigger than it. It's the brother copy of the Manix 2 XL, which is a huge blooming knife. There we go. Great work knife, though. If you want a work knife and a slicer for boxes, I highly recommend this brother knife. Now, there you go, folks. I want something I have an admission to do. When I was sharpening the other day, too, look what I've done. I scratched here and here. I had it covered in tape, but it was just painter's tape. So if anybody's any, I think maybe I need to just use cellophane or cello tape and then painter's tape on top of it. But if anybody's got any ideas, because of that shape, you see, to get down to the corner and sharp, it was all I could do to get there. And I thought I had taped it up well enough, but when I took it apart, I hadn't. So any tips on how to, well, somebody told me orange felt tip, the Sharpies will cover it, but I'm not sure. But any tips on what I could put on it to stop it happening again to another knife, please tell me. Other than that, I've gone on way too long, as usual. Take care, bye for a wee cup of tea. Have a great day. Bye-bye.